Hey Violas, this is a how to practice video for song number 110 out of Essential Elements Book 3. For this assignment, the ultimate goal is that you're going to play the A part along with a recording of me playing the B part. When we get to the end of this video, I'll explain to you how you make that recording because it's a little bit complicated. But for starters, we're just going to go over the A part for this song. I'll go over the notes and anything that's tricky, and then we'll go from there. So for starters with this song, the whole thing that we've been practicing is C major. The key signature is very important. Everything is natural. Starting with our very first note right here, C natural. If you play any high twos in this song, especially because we're not playing anything on the G string, any high two is going to sound really, really strange because we need F natural and C natural. So we really need to make sure that we get that in tune. We're going to go over this first line first and just get the rhythm down, and then we'll talk about this second line, especially this part at the end. It's a little tricky, but you have some options over here. So for starters, again, we're going to start on C natural, and we have all quarter notes until we get to these eighth notes here at the end. So these should all be the same speed. And also, so that we can make our recording together very easy, we are not going to do any of these fermatas. So you can just forget that they're even there. All right, I'm going to start on low 2, and I'm going to play from here up until these first eighth notes, just so we get an idea of what it sounds like. Got my low 2, check to make sure it's in tune, and I'm going to start on an up bow. Here it goes. Okay, so when you practice that part, just make sure that your 1 and 2 are together in a half step. And then when you go for this high D in the middle, that it's a big whole step. So again, those notes should sound like, check to make sure you're getting those in tune. All right, starting again at measure 3 right here, let's make sure we have eighth notes at the end, and then we have a nice long half note. You really got to count to 2. Remember, we're going to play this as a duet, and I've got more notes down here than you do up here, so you have to count very carefully. I'm going to play from here to the end of the line so you hear what that rhythm sounds like. Okay, starting on a C natural. Okay, so be really, really careful with your rhythm. All right, second line. These first 2 measures, pretty easy peasy. We got a 4th finger here, and we have some eighth notes and a slur, but not too bad. So here's what these sound like. That second measure might take a little smidge of practice so you can get your 4th finger in tune and you can get the eighth notes in the slur. And you can jump from high D down to G. If you want to take the slurs out for starters, that's totally fine. But I'm hoping that by the time you do your recording, you can play it with the slurs. Okay, the end part. It requires some shifting. We have one note right here that we can't reach in first position. So we have to shift no matter what, but I'm going to give you 2 options. The first way, I'm going to explain what's written right in the part, and you'll notice a Roman numeral 2, which doesn't seem to make sense, but I'll explain that, and then I'll give you a 3rd position option instead. So it's your choice which one you use. Roman numeral 2 means 2nd position, and we figure out all the positions the same way we did with 3rd position. Whatever note your first finger is on is what number the position is. So it was 3rd position when we put our first finger where 3rd finger went. It's 2nd position if we put our first finger where 2nd finger goes. So to get there, we have a first finger for B right here, and then we just have to slide it up 1 note for C right there. So both your B and your C would be first finger. That takes a smidge of practice because it's kind of a small shift to get from B to C natural. So I would just practice that over and over again till you feel really comfortable. Make sure you're only shifting a half step because it's C natural. Okay, and then if we have our first finger on C, then all these notes are going up in order, so we're just going to go up our fingers in order. This is first finger, 2nd finger, 3rd finger, and 4th finger. So those notes will sound like this. We have a half step between our 3 and 4 and a whole step between 1 and 2 and 2 and 3. With the slur, it sounds like. Okay, so now if you figured those out, can you use your brain and try to figure out what finger this one would be? So we had 1, 2, 3, 4. Guess what this is? I hope you guessed 2. And then how about this one? Can you guess what that is? Hopefully you're right, it's first finger. So this whole part from there to the end in second position looks and sounds like this. The finger numbers in second position are usually the hardest part, so it does not hurt to write them in. All right, if I go from the beginning of that measure, now I just have to do the shift. So I'll start on open and 1 and then shift my 1, and it'll sound like this. Okay? Please be extra careful with this half note at the end. You'll notice that I have 2 quarter notes that I have to play while you play your half note. So don't cut it too short, otherwise we won't end the song at the same time. Okay, if second position is too confusing and you would rather use third position, you can totally do that. We would start on open A, first finger for B, and then we would play our second finger for C. And then right here is where we would shift to third position like we're used to doing. So we put our first finger there. You have to go from second finger for C to first finger for D. And you have to do it while slurring, so that's a little tricky. But just practice it a bunch of times and you'll get it. Okay, then to figure out the fingers after that, it just goes in order. That's first finger, second finger, third finger. And then we have a 1 here, and then we have to add 1 more shift to second finger for here. So this is why they had you use second position instead, because it's only 1 shift and you can play in second till the end. If you are using third position, you play from here to here in third, and then your last note has to be back in first. That whole thing would look like this. Then shift. So practice it either way, and if you find one way is better than the other, doesn't matter. Both are totally acceptable. You just play whatever is more comfortable for you. All right, I'm going to play the whole A line from the beginning so you hear what it sounds like, and then we're going to talk about how you make that recording. Here we go. Low 2, up bow, ready, set, go. For making your recording, I want to be able to hear both me playing the B part at the same time as you playing the A part. Now I'm going to explain how you can do that with your iPad, but if you have some totally different setup, if you've got 2 devices or whatever you want to use, that's totally fine. So for starters, I would make sure that you open up Recorder HQ and then start an audio recording. It's totally fine for this to be audio only. It's pretty much the only way that this is going to work unless you have 2 devices. So you start your recording, and then I want you to switch to the video. Now the video has the music on screen, so you can actually just watch the video. You don't need separate music anywhere. If that's not comfortable for you, you could print out the music or use a different device, but you can just read the notes on screen. Then while your recording's going in the background, hit play on the video, wait for me to say 1, 2, ready, go, and then I want you to play with the recording. The whole point of this is, it's one thing for you to learn a song on your own and may or may not get the rhythm right. It's a totally different thing for you to be able to play it with another person and see if your notes line up really well. So hopefully what'll happen is Recorder HQ will pick up the audio from the video of me playing, plus you playing over top of it. When you're finished playing, just stop the video, stop your recording, and then submit it like normal. All right, good luck practicing. Please make sure you're being very accurate with your intonation and practice that shifting. Have fun.